Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Talk Exchange. Today we have Private Sheldon Collins, who is the Public Information Officer for the Toledo Fire Department here in Toledo, Ohio. Private Collins is going to give us some really great tips for fire safety. It's a really great conversation with Tracy and Christy. He talks all about the importance of closing doors at night while you're sleeping, setting a meeting point in your yard, having an escape plan, and all about his role with community engagement and connection. So we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you again next week.
Welcome to Talk Exchange. I'm Tracy Edwards, CEO of the National Exchange Club.
And I'm Christy Lindahl, Director of Communications.
Well,
hello.
Hello. I'm excited about today because our guest, who I'm excited about, said that it feels like a game show, which is kind of, I think, exactly what we're going for.
I think so. I don't know if that means we're fun or strange. I'm not sure. But I
love game shows, so I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And you know what? Brad and I were talking when I came into the studio. Brad, our producer, is with us, by the way, which you could see him on our last episode, which we recorded at the Toledo Mud Hen Stadium. That was super fun. Super fun. So check that one out. But on the way here, I just love the hustle and bustle of, I just like when things are busy. And so to drive by campus and see all the activity and all the students walking around in the cars, it's super cool. It's fun.
It is super cool. I was a little bit like, okay, let's move along. You know?
Right, yes.
Because I wasn't prepared for it, you know. But it is great to see, you know, the kids back on campus.
Yes.
And, you know, my kids, a lot of kids across the country are back in school, getting back into the energy and the routine. It's fun.
Yes, families like the routine. That's what I keep hearing. I hear that a lot. As an empty nester myself, I can't even keep track of how old kids are. I asked my little neighbor girl how she was enjoying school so far, and she said, I'm 4. I don't go to school. I was like, you're right. That all kind of... When you're an empty nester, you lose track of all that.
Well, you know, I see people driving now, and I'm like, there is no way they're giving driver's license to 12-year-olds.
Right, exactly.
The older you get, you know, the younger they look.
That's true. So now that we're in the fall season, all the things that come with fall, which is enjoyable if you're in a location where the seasons change.
That's right.
If you're not, come visit us in Northwest Ohio. We have all the corn mazes and apple orchards and the things that make fall fun. And also a time when our exchange clubs are very busy doing things, especially in October, when October is Fire Safety Month, and so a lot of our exchange clubs around the country do things to honor firefighters and also just to remind people how to be safe. So we're excited about our guest today who's going to give us some tips. And so I'm pleased to have with us today Private Sheldon Collins of Toledo Fire and Rescue. And Private Collins is the Public Information Officer. Welcome, Private Collins.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
And he's got a great smile, too.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. And I understand this role is new to you. How new is it?
August 30th.
Awesome.
Oh, congratulations.
So it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow.
Fantastic. 2 weeks under your belt. And tell us about your career as a firefighter thus far.
It'll be 14 years in January, and it's been the greatest job ever. Getting to meet new people, getting to see things you haven't seen before, get to do things you haven't seen before. The 24, 48-hour schedule is probably the best schedule ever to work with.
I believe that.
You get used to it at first. You know, you would wake up every hour or whatever and thinking you're missing stuff and everything, but it's the greatest job in the world.
Oh,
Awesome.
great.
And I've always heard between calls that firefighter houses have the best food anywhere, right? You all typically love to cook a bunch of food.
Everybody should have something under their belt. Everybody. If you don't, you will get put on the spot, and then you will have to make something.
Oh,
Yes.
So everybody has to do it.
Well, our national headquarters is across the street from the fire station on Central Avenue, which is super busy.
really
it's
busy.
just Oh, they
Station
get a lot of
25.
calls all day, and I'll be on Zoom calls with people, and they'll say, "Is everything okay?" And I always
Yeah.
say, "This is all day. We're
All
right
day,
across
every
the
day.
street from
Yep. And usually if a fire truck goes by, there's going to be some cop cars after.
Yes, that's true. But we're here today to talk about fire safety. Of course, with October coming up, we know that you have some tips for our listeners on how they can stay safe and what they can learn during the month of October so that they can stay safe all year long.
Mm-hmm. Well, for one thing, you should have smoke alarms on every floor. At least one on every floor. You can have them in every room if you want, but at least on every floor. You should have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen just in case a fire would go off. Never put water on oil or grease or anything else because that's just going to make it worse. You should also have a carbon monoxide detector, and you should just have everything that's ready available for you if a fire was to happen. But if you can't put it out from a fire extinguisher, from a small one, get out and call 911. That's what we're here for.
Excellent.
That is excellent advice.
Yes. So, sometimes smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, they can be cost prohibitive for some families. Are there certain organizations that people can look to help provide those pieces of equipment?
Yep. We provide them free if you live in the city
Wow.
of Toledo. Yep. You can go to
Awesome.
any fire station and pick up fire smoke alarms. Yep. We
Awesome.
provide them free.
I bet that would be, that's probably common in most cities.
I would think so. I like that they do that, but I also thought, if not, that would be a great project for exchange clubs to take on.
Yeah. Excellent idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking too, I know that I remember when my son was young, some of his friends on their second story bedrooms, they would have like a little portable ladder that would be ready to flip out the upstairs window. How do those work out? I've never seen one in action, thankfully, but
Yes. I've
do
never
people
seen
use
one of them.
those?
I've never seen one of them, but that is a great idea. That it definitely is. I know because at nighttime, you sleep and the smoke may come, but so you should have your doors closed at nighttime. That gives you more time to be able to escape, and the smoke, you won't, how should I say this? The smoke won't affect you while you're asleep. It'll give you
Okay.
enough time to get to a window and let us know when we're coming up, have your hand out or something, or if you can get out, get out. If not, just get in a room, put a towel under the door if you can, and then just wait. So the door should always be closed when you're sleeping.
I've heard that before, but I wonder how many families actually do that.
I definitely don't. I always like to sleep with the door open, but I'm
Yeah.
going to change that now. That does make sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
Because if anything
Absolutely.
happens, you keep it on the other side of the door as long as you can, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And I think we probably got into the habit of that with little children.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yes, that's true. 'Cause I had to tell over and over and over, telling my sons, please close the door at night. And they
Yes.
just wouldn't. But eventually they started to do it after they started to see, I started showing them stuff that can actually happen. And they was like, okay, all right.
All right, Dad.
Right. Yeah. They thought this guy must know what he's talking about
Yeah.
now. Right.
Listen to him laugh.
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know one concern is always the animals, right? Like I have a little sticker from the Humane Society that shows on the door how many animals to look for, because typically, wouldn't you say that that's what people mostly run in for, right? When they run back into a burning
Yes.
house or
Yes.
building, they're looking for their pet.
Yes, and sometimes we'll hear them say, my baby's in there, and we'll think it's a child. And
Oh.
they go in there and they'll find the pet, and then they'll say, oh, thank you. And they'll say, this your baby? It's like, we know they're family
Yes.
members, but we want it to be distinct and say a baby or a pet.
Yeah. Let's be clear on that, right?
Yes.
Not to make light of it, but I
Right.
can only
Right.
guess.
But yes, if it's enough time, we will go find the pet, but our priority is human life, property, and pets. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense.
So did we cut you off when you were giving tips?
no.
Did you? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of tips. Of course, keep kids.
Yeah.
Don't let them put anything in sockets. Keep them away from the ovens and stoves. Don't let them play with it, especially if you're cooking on the stove and then the hot fire is up. A lot of kids want to tend to try to touch the fire or something because it
Oh,
fascinates. And you just
sure.
like, no, you might want to stay away from that.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. My kids came home in elementary school once and brought home a tip. One of the firefighters had been in talking to the kids. And at that point, we set a meeting point in our yard, in our area. Yeah.
Yep. You should definitely have an escape plan and a meeting place just in case. Because, like you said, your kids could be up first floor or the bedrooms downstairs or whatever. They can get out and you will know exactly where they're at. So we try to, once you out, we don't want you going back in at all. Period.
Well, I've even heard to have your plan about what you're going to carry out with you if something should happen. We hear that. We have a lot of clubs on the West Coast, and they're evacuated a
yes.
lot for the fires surrounding them. And so they'll talk about how they had just moments, and they always have a little bag packed and some
Sure.
their medication, their
Yes.
pet, different things.
That's a nice idea. That's a very good idea. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we hope you get out and not worry about it because you can get medication again from your doctor. But
True.
yeah, we want you out as fast as possible.
Sure.
Well, that's a good point. I think the theme I'm getting is just get out. Everything else can come later, which
Yes.
is the truth, really, right?
Yep.
Yep. And,
So during the month of October, do you do any programs for kids or for the public? I know some communities have, I don't know, a fair where maybe the fire department has a booth. And so how do you work with the community in terms of sharing these types of safety tips, Private Collins?
actually, this Saturday, the 14th, at our Toledo Fire Museum, 918 West Sylvania, from noon to 4, we have our Fire Safety Day. And it will be the police there, it'll be the zoo, different stuff. And usually, sometimes we will have a trailer to where it can simulate a fire in a house where the kids can get down and crawl, and we'll be in there with them. Like one will sit there and be like, get down, crawl, and then the kids enjoy it, and it's teaching them. Some of them, the little ones, also get a little scared, but you're in there with the parent, and you're teaching them how to get them out as safe as possible. So this Saturday, I don't know if the trailer will be there this Saturday, but we usually have it in October when we have another fire safety day, but that's for the entire month, like the fire safety, where we go out and check out the fire alarms at the schools and different stuff like that every September. Whatever station is close to whatever schools, they go in there and do the fire alarm with the kids and the schools and make sure that they're following what they need to do to get out safe.
That's awesome. I like
Yeah.
that proactive approach for sure.
Yeah. I mean, services that the community can't live without, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of our exchange clubs do things in collaboration with their local fire departments. They like to show their support. They like to honor. A lot of the clubs honor a firefighter of the year or month. They put on lunches and dinners to recognize people. What do you suggest if groups like that want to get involved with a fire department? What can they do to provide support or honor or assist?
That's good. That's very good. But I know a lot of us we would just say it's our job. This is what we're
Yes.
supposed to do. It's kind of hard. Like sometimes when we would go to the grocery store to get our food for the day, and people would be like, "Thank you for your service." Sometimes we look at it. Well, me personally, I used to say, I didn't know what to say because this is just what I'm supposed to do: be there for the community, and that's what That's how we all think. We're here for the community, so we appreciate everything. But I don't know. We never really think of stuff to like praise us. We just want to just do what's best for the community.
That's
for
why
the
people
rest
love
of the
first
community.
responders like you so much because of that
Selfless attitude.
Yes, you're in the right profession for sure.
For sure. Well, I mean, drop them off some cookies. You know, everybody likes pie.
True, true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pies, cakes,
Yeah.
desserts. Yeah, it's a lot of different stuff. But it just seems like, how should I say this? We appreciate it greatly. We definitely do. But we don't. It just makes us feel. It makes us feel good, but it also makes us feel like, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we signed up to do. To
Right.
make sure
Yeah.
that you are safe and not worry about us. So that's man.
That attitude is reflected in a lot of our exchange clubs too.
It is.
You
That
know,
is
with
true.
the community service and you know, we talk to people about submitting their projects for awards, you know, and whatnot, and they tell us we're not doing this to get awarded or recognized.
True.
But again, we like the opportunity to recognize them. So,
Well, we do
Yeah.
because in our world of community service, we like to tell people they should do it for the awards because the awards are proof of their impact in the
Yep,
community.
yep.
That's how that's how they're known, right? That's how another member of the community sees the value in having an exchange club there. Really.
yep.
Wow.
So
Yes.
yeah.
That is a great point.
Good. Pretty thought provoking. We'll invite you to a club meeting sometime, and you can see what exchange clubs are all about.
Oh, I'll
Definitely.
be happy to. I'll be happy to
Awesome.
attend.
Your
Thank
energy
you.
would
Yes.
be so welcome.
Definitely, definitely. What else would you like to share with our audience today, Private Collins? Any more tips or just things that are good to know, or anything you'd like the public to know?
I know one thing that we was thinking, like, you know how some kids are troubled at times or whatever. I was a social worker before becoming a social worker for 10 years at Connecting Point and
Oh, great.
Neighborhood Property. So, and with the mental health board with the program. So I've been involved with the community basically all my life, all my adult life, put it that way. And you see some kids who would try to start fires over and over, and you know that's a problem. But we do have a program that is called Fire Setters Program that can help out, and it's ran by Lieutenant Gina Shabeda, and it's called the SERP program. I mean the SERP Bureau,
Okay.
and that's community education, recruitment, and prevention. All that she runs. All that combined together, and that's help out community kids. They go out to the schools and do a lot of different stuff. We'll bring them to the stations, let them look around and have fun. This summer, we had them there shooting fire hoses and learning how to do different things, putting on the gear, seeing the station, letting them hear the tones go off that we have to hear when we got to go to a fire, and it's calling just like their class who was there. So, I mean, it's a great time.
That's awesome. How many kids do you know turn over and go into, say, you know, law enforcement or firefighting after that program?
Let's see. I don't know exactly for sure, but we see a lot of them that say, "Oh, I want to be one. I want to be one." And then I would ask their age, and I was like, and some of them be like, "I'm 8." I was like, "You got 10 years left. You can get on at 18." So I got a little more years left, so I'll be here when you get here. So yeah, I mean, it's just exciting to see all the kids and to see people just in general just love life. That's what I want. I want the community to be able to see us, that we have a heart for the community, not that we
Yes.
just come and just, all right, we did our job and that's it, but we love to do that.
Aw.
I love that. I love the
Yes.
community connection too. It's so great.
Yep.
Well, it's been such a joy talking with you, Private Collins. We appreciate you sharing your enthusiasm about your role and these tips with our listeners. So thank
Yes.
you.
And congratulations on that new role, by the way.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
stay
you.
in touch. I'm
Absolutely.
very excited to see what you do with this role.
Oh, most
Absolutely.
definitely. Thank you. And I appreciate that you invited me on. I definitely appreciate it. And like I said, I haven't got yelled at yet so far in these 2 weeks. So let's see
Good.
if I can keep that going.
Good. I think that will continue, especially when your colleagues hear this podcast and
That's
how well
right.
Oh man, I forgot
you
about that.
help
Yes,
serve. So,
yes, I get teased for that game show still. So
yes.
yeah, I forgot about that. Can we keep that from the fire stations?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just
Yes. It's our
yeah,
little
yeah.
secret.
We won't tell them at all.
Oh wow, yes, it was great talking to you, and I would be glad to um, come to one of your meetings or your events that you hold. I would definitely love to do
Awesome.
that.
Excellent.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Yes.
All right.
And thank you to Private Sheldon Collins of Toledo Fire and Rescue, their public information officer, for the tips, information, and fun this afternoon. Everybody stay safe during the month of October and always. And
Yes.
thank you for the ways that people in communities, especially exchange clubs, honor and support to their fire departments and their police departments, as the case is.
All first responders.
And if our listeners would like more information about how to join your local exchange club, please visit nationalexchangeclub.org. And thanks for tuning in to this episode of Talk Exchange.
Very good.